created a table called LEMP, employee table. Okay, employee table, where the object name is LEMP. So the object name, how to define is all first character will be uppercase and the remaining characters will be lowercase. So the initial LEMP, L is caps, uppercase, and out of EMP, E is uppercase, and T, and out of TBL, T is uppercase. So this is a conventional method of defining an object name. You can have a question like should be like this. No, there is nothing, there is no hard rule like that. But in future, it would be very easy for you to understand what the object name mean. See, whether the object name is employee table or student table, employee address or whatever may be, if this kind of convention method is observed or followed, then it will be easy for you to identify the object name. That's the purpose behind the uppercase and the lowercase. Okay. Then I said it would be like initially we'll go with single table. Then I'll explain what is the purpose of one to many. Okay. Right. Now we will get into the column names. See, for the new table, what are the columns required? Basically, any table should have a primary column. What is primary column? Primary column is something which is an auto generation, and unique ID will be automatically created for the primary column, so that it maintains a uniqueness of the particular row. For example, so what I'll do, EMP ID. So EMP ID is nothing but employee ID. I'll define this as long. So what is this long? Let me explain this one. There are different data types available. Okay. So starting with time span, string, integer, long, decimal. Date and time and boolean. Okay. Of course, this is arranged in descending order, alphabetic descending order. Okay. So now you can select any one, but it should have a basic information structure. Okay. In that case, employee ID is going to be a unique number. Okay, auto-generated. So unique number can be either only two. One is long integer or integer. I mean, that is the 4 and 5. These two data type is going to support the integer. So now you have to decide whether integer or long integer. What is the difference between the integer and long integer? Long means it will have a length, a more integer value comparing to integer. Why I'm selecting long? Okay, so we should be always scalable. One advantage with the MySQL is like integer long. Okay, so I define it long. The purpose is tomorrow being a web-based application. Now currently you are working for a single factory. Tomorrow your factory goes expands all over the world, and you need to have more employees comparatively. Then you need to go for long. So again, it is left to the choice whether it is integer or long. The architecture, the person who designs a database or tables should decide what is the scope of this particular table. Based on the scope of the particular table, we can define the length of the data. Okay. So it can be now, if it is going to be a single factory and it's going to have, you are going to have like 1 lakh employees or below 1 lakh or above 1 lakh also, okay. Integer can support up to 9 digits. So that 9 digits means what? 9. Like that is a maximum number it can hold on. Okay. So to that extent, the integer value, if it goes beyond that one, then you have to think about long. Now you have to decide what you really need. Then I think integer should be okay. Okay. Then length of the integer. Okay. So let us assume 9 characters. Okay. Because we are given integer, I said 9 would be okay. Then decimal you cannot make changes because integer means only integer. So there won't be decimal points. Okay. Then remark, remark will say employee ID primary. I'm just giving an additional information. Okay. Auto generation. So this column automatically created. I'm just giving a description. Okay, now that is about the remark and the description. We need to give what the column mean. Okay, employee ID. Okay, I'm just giving the description about the column. Okay. Then this is going to be primary key. As I said in the initial, this column is going to be auto-generated and it will maintain the uniqueness of the particular employee information. Okay. Now we'll go to the next column, employee name. So EMP name. Say I'll keep 100. So the name of the employee should be below 100 characters. Or if you want 200, you can have 200 also. Okay. And being string, there is no decimal part. You cannot have decimal. Okay, fine. Now I'll go to the description, put employee name. Remark, if you want, you can put, or else you can give blank also, nothing wrong with that. But description is very compulsory. Why? Because tomorrow the system has to specify that employee name, means it will refer to the description only. It will identify the description. It won't show EMP underscore name. It will show as employee name is empty or invalid. All those error messages are generated from the system based on the description name. So description is very important. You cannot leave it as empty. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, then employee name. Fine. Now goes on to the next column. So next column, employee date of joining, DOJ. So date of joining, you can give different format.
What is it?
Or joining date. Okay.
That index.
Join date. Okay. Whatever way, whatever but way you want, you can put it. Now, then you need to define the data type. What is the data type is? Date and time. Okay. Now here you cannot change the length because it's a predefined.
Can you hear
Date
me?
is a predefined. You cannot change that one. You have to go with it. Okay.
Sir, am I audible?
Sorry, you are trying to say something, but it is not audible.
What is that index?
Yeah, I'll come to index. I'll come to index. Now I'm going to say about the index. Okay, I'll come to the index. Yeah. Now description. So description is join date. Now I'll be selecting the index. Okay. You may question me why I haven't selected the index for the previous two. Okay. Number one, employee ID. By default, you define primary key means that is by default it is indexed. So before going about index, I need to see what is the purpose of the index. The purpose of index is to make the data searching much faster. Okay. If I index the particular column and if I give the date of a, for example, I want to list out all the employees who have joined between a specific period. Like in 2002 and 2000, between 2002, January and February and December, I want to list out all the employees who have joined that particular year. Okay. If you want to pull out a reports like that, then you need to have index on the join date, or else if without index also the system will work. But it will take longer time. Why? Because it doesn't have index. If index is specified, the data pulled out will be very drastically different. Lot of performance will be there. So that is the reason why we have index. Okay. You may ask me a next question. employee, we will be searching with the employee name also. Why not indexed? Correct. So if you are going to search with date, join date, why not with the employee name? So I want to find, for example, employee Segar. Okay. But what is the challenge? I'll say, you say, for example, R Segar. R Segar is a employee. Okay. So what will happen is there are different combination like R dot Segar, Segar dot R space Segar, or Segar space or Segar dot R dot. So all these combination possible for only R Segar. So you cannot define a specific terminology or a specific format for typing the employee name. See, one operator will put employee, Segar R. The other employee will put like R Segar. So different combination permutation possible for typing a string. That is the employee name. So indexing the employee name as string doesn't solve the purpose. Of course, you can index, but you won't be able to use the index efficiently being the string and that to employee name. That is not possible. So that is the reason we have not kept index for the employee name. But still, you can search for employee name using some other technique that we will be discussing in the future. Okay, fine.
Sir, as you said, like if you select primary key,
I think
employee
your
ID will be-
voice is too low.
Okay, okay. If you select this employee ID as primary key, as you said, by default, it will be the index, right?
Can I repeat again?
Employee ID is selected as a primary key.
Yeah, see, employee
it is
ID
also-
by default being a primary. So I enable the primary key. Primary key, if you enable the primary key, what are the roles is taken up is number one, by default, it becomes index. So you need not specific
We
separate,
select the index for employee ID.
not required, not required. Even if you select the purpose, there is no purpose behind. Okay, the purpose is not solved because the primary key will overload on the index. So index won't work. Okay, the primary key will take all the responsibilities. That's it. Even if, see, if you click index or not index, there is no change. There is no effect on the index part because all the responsibility taken care by the primary key itself. That's what we are trying to say. Okay. But other columns you need to define whether you need to have index or not. Okay. Now we will go to the next column. Next column would be just let me put like previous salary. Okay. So what was his previous salary? So that defining his salary in the current company would be much easier. My voice is audible. My voice is audible.
Yeah,
Hello.
sir, I can hear you.
Yeah. So the next column is previous salary. So we will put instead of previous salary, we will put previous CTC. So that will be ideal. And it is a decimal place. So decimal place means you need to define what is the digit and the decimal. For example, being salary, let us put like 12 digits and 2 decimal places. Why 12 digit means the 2 will be a part of the 12. Okay. And even a point, the decimal place will be also point of the 12. That means you will be able to feed 9 digits as a salary value. Okay. That's how the system works. Okay. Now we'll come to a description called previous CTC, then enable index can be enabled. So where you can specify range of CTC. Like you want to see the employees between these range of salary CTC. So you can do that one. And option can also be enabled. See, what is the purpose of option? Option means in some cases, the CTC won't be available immediately. The employee will let us know in future. So in that case, you cannot have an restriction on the previous CTC. So you should be able to give it empty also. So that way, you should make it an option. That means the previous CTC can be empty also. That's the purpose of the option, right? Optional means either you can give value or leave it empty. That's the purpose of the CTC. The above columns cannot be like that. The employee ID is essential, employee name is essential, and the join date is essential. All these things are essential. You cannot give empty values. But whereas previous CTC, it is up to the operator to decide on the call. If the CTC is not given immediately, she or he can update the detail later on. Okay. So then whether the employee is married. Okay. So here we need to define Boolean. So Boolean means true or false. Okay. So that shows, I mean, if it is true means married, false means unmarried. That is how it should be. Okay. So and of course, index is required because you need to filter those employees who are married. Like if you want to take a detail of the employees. Okay. And it can be option also. I mean, it is not compulsory. You need to feed those informations. And I'm just trying to put all the columns with all data types. That's what I'm doing, so that you will get a fair idea about the only thing left out would be time span. Time span I'll be explaining in later stage. Okay, the other things are used. Okay, then I think this is okay. And anyhow, let me feed the address. String 500 characters. You can press this button so that you can see the full view of the grid. So now the things will be more visible if you want. And address can be option. Mobile. Ten digit. Of course, index is required and option will be option we won't give because mobile is very essential. You cannot leave empty. And similarly, email. Some 100 characters. Of course, index is required and even email cannot be empty. These are the primary details required. Fine. So the necessary information has been, and of course, you can have some department. Okay, I'll explain what is department. Why I'm specifying about department is very important. Let me explain. Department ID. That will be useful while explaining multiple tables. Okay. And in 3 digits. Department ID. So here the department here mean is which section of the factory or the concern in which the employee is going to work. Okay, that is the, and of course it has to be indexed. Why? Because you need to filter the department wise employees if required. Okay. And department cannot be empty, it has to be filled then and there. So even department should be cannot be option. Okay, fine. Now all the necessary columns which are required is been updated. Now we are going to create the go to next level. Now fine. Okay, now I'm going to explain what is this tag name. So which is auto generated. See, once you give the object name and description in the top level, this tag is auto created. We have seen this in the yesterday itself. Okay. In the last, in the last chapter. Okay. So, there are 3 type of tag. That is, one is add, you could see add, update, and delete. Okay. So there are basically 3 operations can be done with the database tables. One is adding a new row. That means adding a new employee. Okay. And editing an employee detail. So an existing employee information can be edited. Like there is a change of address, change of mobile number, or whatever it may be. Those changes need to be updated. So update is also required. And deletion is also required if the employee is not a valid employee. Okay, for some reason the employee information is not correct or it has to be deleted for some reason.
So if we scroll down in the same window, we are getting this tag table, right?
Yes, yes. See, below the column information, you could see. Okay. Once I save it, so far I not saved it. Okay. Once I save the information, you could see the parallelly you can open the same window and see all this information of it. I'll just let me save this one so that you will be able to see that. Okay. Now done. The project table added. Okay. So once the project table is added, I'll be back to the project grid. Now I can re-edit the project grid. Of course, re-edit the project table, the specific table. LM. Here it is. So edit. So LM EMP table is existing. Okay. Now I'll again edit this one. Edit the specific table. Okay. All the information, whatever we fed in, is available, including the tag. Okay. So all this information got saved. Fine. Now you can go back and create one more table if required. Okay. Now let me create one more table because the table is going to be the department table. So let me explain this one. This is little tricky. So see, come down. You could see a column called department ID. I voluntarily specified as department ID, where while entering it would be a drop down, you'll be selecting the department. So the form would look like this. See where the form would be like employee name and all the information will be there, and there will be a drop down called department where you select the drop down. The list of departments will be there. You select one department and in which the employee is going to work. Okay, how to do that one? To do that one, we need to create the list of the departments first. Okay, you need to have list of information about the department which are need to be created. Okay, so that we are going to do. So let me do that one. The next table which I'm going to add is that one. Okay, so I'll go back. Now I'll click on new table. So LEMP underscore DEPP. That means department. Okay. Then employee department. Okay. And object name going to be LEMP DEPT. Okay, that is the object name. And of course, this type is also going to be single table. Done. Then DEPT ID, that is department ID. Suppose integer, you can have 3 digits. Okay, it's a primary key, auto generation. The next would be DEPT name, department name, string. I'll have like 50 characters. Okay. Of course, description is very important. And department name. Okay. Okay, so done. So only these two columns will be requiring initially. If at all any columns to be added, that can be, you can edit anytime you want. No, not a big deal. Okay. So the department creation is done. And for the department also, the tag name is created. I mean, 3 operation, add, update, and delete is created. So now you need to save. Okay, project table added. Now you have 2 tables created. Let me check again. Yes. There are 2 tables. One is employee table and other one is department table, right? So now the necessary information has been created. Now I want to generate the API. Okay, how to do that? So I'll go to the master project list. Under that, I'll select the L employee. Yes. Now you click on the generate. So if you click on the generate, okay, project created. That means your API is ready. You can start testing your API, which we are going to do shortly. Before that, I need to create the tables in the MySQL. Okay, okay, that we are going to work now. So how to do that one? So to do that one, first of all, I should know what are the tables to be created and the statements for that. Okay. So how to identify that one? So there is a new, in the LM, there is something called SQL and tags. You click on that. So you will get the create table statement of MySQL. See this statement, whatever you are seeing now, create table, LM, EMP table, and the corresponding informations. Whatever the information is available is a basically MySQL statement command. Okay. For both the tables, it is available. I mean, employee table as well as department table, for both the table is available. And with the additional commands like whatever the commands we have. Okay. Where the primary ID has to be auto incremented. All those MySQL commands are put together so that you have to copy, paste, and execute it. That's it. So if you do that one, automatically the table will be created, and once the table is created, you can test the API. That's how the system works. Okay, but that we are going to see now. Okay, fine. Now, whatever you're seeing is the database kept open. Now, opening this database would be a separate learning curve. Why? Because that will vary depend upon the account you're going to take. So it will vary upon the servers. So that we will have one-to-one session, how to open this database. That would be in a separate learning curve. Okay, fine. Need not worry about that one. That will be handled separately. Okay, now we are going to see how to create the table. So far we have created in the N project. Now we will click on the SQL. Go back to the N project. LM SQL and tag. Just Control A. Put Control A so that you will be able to copy the whole command. Control C. Okay, Control A and Control C. Okay, then come back to the database, paste it. Okay, so you are copy pasting the create command from the N project and pasting it in the SQL. Okay, once done, click go. That means you are creating the tables. Okay, so the tables are created. Now you could see the tables. Okay, so I'll show you how. Before seeing the tables, you have created freshly, so you need to refresh or reload. Okay, now you come down. That is LM, correct? So LM means we need to go to the okay, next page. Yes. So LM department is there, LM employee table is there. So both the tables are created and the tables are empty because no data has been entered so far. So now we have successfully created the table. Now what would be the next step is how to add the data into this one. That would be the next step that we will be seeing in the chapter 2. Okay, fine. With this, we will close this chapter and we will see you in the chapter 2.